Welcome into the SBR College Basketball Closing Line Show. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. Usually Babano and me, Ian Cameron and me, but he's up in Canada, and therefore there's, I guess, a lot of snow, something, and he couldn't get on the internet. So he usually hosts it from a Google Hangout, and therefore just got to go now. But guys, try to bear with us. Getting this going as we speak. I'll pull it up here on YouTube, pull the chat box up, see if we can interact a little bit and get on the right side for some of these big college basketball games today. Let me know what's on your guys' mind. Noah, Duran, Corey, NHL Parlay, Bagger. Welcome in, guys. We're going live. No big man, no. But Ian Cameron, hopefully next week. If one good thing happened out of this, guys, talk to Maxwell Smart. I think he's on board for next Saturday joining the show. So as much college basketball knowledge as he knows, that will definitely be a big plus. Want to start at the top of the card. Obviously going to be a condensed card here, guys. We got 12 noon tips. I'll bring out all the plays I was looking at getting on. Oklahoma, TCU, not much there. You know, TCU up and down team. So I didn't put a bet on this. Maryland, Michigan, two top 25 teams, 12 noon Eastern tip here. This one on Fox. Pretty much even number of wagers on both sides for the Terps and Wolverines. Over under of 130.5. It's been ticked up a lot, or at 3 points almost. This was a game I was actually looking towards the under, and I think I'm going to get there. Let me know what you guys think in the chat box. We got 7.5. That's the Wolverines laying at home. Obviously, a really good defense. Both teams not really going up tempo too much this year. So that extra couple points towards the over that the market is pushing it, I'd actually look to buck that trend and go under. So seeing mostly 130s, got a 131 at Bovada. As we know, the low baggers don't like to use Bovada. So we can go 130 at 5 dimes as a play here. It's thinking about a half unit wager on the under for Michigan, Maryland. Let me see if I got my pen here. Yeah. Again, sorry, guys, going kind of impromptu here, but looking to go Maryland, Michigan on the under. As far as the early plays, the big play that I was looking at, my favorite play on the board for the early games, Auburn, Vandy, 6-17, 6-18. We got Auburn laying 8 on the road in Nashville. A couple things about this matchup. Obviously, Vanderbilt in their stadium, it's kind of a unique place to play. Auburn plays there every year or almost every year, but it's a team. It's a place where if a team shoots a lot of threes, I actually look to fade them or bet the under just because the sight lines are a little bit different. Auburn's so volatile. Yeah, they could come out and just knock down 3 after 3 after 3. I just don't see that. I think that they're going to kind of struggle. I think that they're actually moving in the wrong direction under Bruce Pearl, especially if they're not at home. I don't look to bet on this Auburn team. And Vanderbilt, since Garland's been out, against teams that can play decent defense, they don't push the tempo nearly as much. It's been a gold mine so far this year as far as betting Vanderbilt under the total against teams that can play good defense. We saw it against Mississippi State. We saw it against Kentucky twice. They've scored, pretty much hovered around the 50, 55 point mark. And if Vanderbilt only scores 50 or 55 points against Auburn, even if they score 60, this thing's staying under. It's moved a bunch, 149.5. The market's onto this trend, I believe, seeing mostly 146.5s, 147.5 at Bookmaker. So that looks to be like the high water mark as far as the totals go. So that might be my best bet here. Auburn, Vanderbilt under the total. As far as the early games, 12 o'clock games, that's my favorite bet on the board. Can get it right now, 147.5 towards the under. This one is, I believe, a TV game. Yeah, using SBR odds, ESPNU, great feature there. Just put the ticker over the TV time. And I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the chat box. I used to always go to the classic view on SBR odds, and now I'm going to the just the regular view, and it's pretty good. I used to hate it, but now I like it a lot. So make sure to check that out. But guys, hitting the chat box, we got the blunt truth, Auburn on a teaser. What are you teasing it? I mean, I'm not a big teaser guy in college basketball, but let me know you're thinking. Maybe it works. We got Maryland better play D on the road. That's part of the under look. Got a half unit on it though. Auburn, Vanderbilt like it for a full unit. Tomar, what's up, buddy? Michigan has played slower teams like Minnesota, Wisconsin recently. They like to play fast when they can. Okay, good point. I haven't noticed that trend, but if you're onto that, that might be a thing to worry about there in the Maryland-Michigan game. So does that make you want to bet over, Tomar? Let me know what you think. Under in the Auburn game, yeah, Ron, that's what I'm on. Tone, I'm with you, Tomar, so liking that as well. Guys in the chat box, let me know what you guys are liking too. I'll move down the card here. Again, it's going to be a condensed show, just about 20 minutes or so. Try to get as much good plays out there as possible. Appreciate you tuning in and dealing with the technical difficulties, guys. Sorry about that. Just weather in Canada. Who would have thought in July that would be an issue? Next week, definitely get the login information, and hopefully in here in South Florida, there won't be snow issues for the internet. What's up, Allison? Welcome in, man. You still like the under at 146.5? Yeah, I do. I like the under. I mean, obviously, each point you lose. Larry's sending me something here. Larry, what's up, man? Hey, bros. Okay. Will do, Larry. Let me know if you can chime in via voice there in Costa Rica, but I will send you that message right around 12 noon Eastern, man, just so you know. Tomar's on Michigan, not the total. I think Michigan steps up here offensively and defensively. I do think Michigan comes out with a lot of energy and pushes the tempo. Well, if they're pushing the tempo, that'll definitely hinder the total that I'm liking towards the under. But I'm on Maryland, Michigan under the total in the 12 o'clocks for a half a unit, and the Auburn under at 147.5 if you can grab it. 146.5 looks to be widely available out there in the marketplace. But we'll move down the card here on SBR odds. And guys, a couple features here I want to throw out. If you move the cursor over Time TV, it shows you which channels there. Obviously, the wagers are up as well. That is tickets written, not money on the game. That's tickets written as far as percentage of bets placed. As far as the money, just an overall philosophy I use. Be careful putting too much emphasis on it. A lot of books don't like to let out how much money is actually on one side or the other. That's a personal thing that I've kind of taken account for. Down to the 2 o'clock afternoon game, 629, 630. This is another game I got a full unit wager on. 629, 630, Baylor, Texas Tech in the Big 12. 45% of the wagers on Baylor, 55% of the wagers on Texas Tech. I'm liking the under here, guys. 127.5. It opened 126.5. You can even find a 127 at Bet Online towards the under. Couple reasons here. Texas Tech, obviously their defense by Ken Pom, I believe, is ranked #1 in the country. Baylor, this is something I've noticed from watching it, not just analytics and betting college basketball. Their guard play, they'll pull out the ball a lot and just kind of play with it. That their offensive efficiency is good. I'll pull it up right now as far as their numbers. But I just noticed that their guard play does not push the ball to the basket. And you see it in their tempo, their offensive tempo, their overall tempo is in the 300s. So they're not looking to push the ball much at all. If you look at their last couple games, 58 possessions against Oklahoma, 60 possessions against Kansas State, 67 against Texas. Texas is going to run a little bit more up tempo. Therefore, Texas Tech, they're not going to push it too much. Baylor's not going to push it. So I don't see a whole lot of possessions. I think this could go sub 60 possessions. Neither team offensively is killing it. Texas Tech #1 defensive efficiency. Baylor's offense is pretty good. They get a lot of offensive rebounds, but Texas Tech always getting back. I like that matchup. So I like a full unit wager here. And for sake of the show, the best number we can get is 127, and that's at Bet Online right now. You can also get it at Bovada, but we use BOL, and that is Baylor, Texas Tech under the total. If you don't like betting unders, guys, sorry, that's just kind of what I like so far today. 11:52 Eastern. We'll get it right into tip-off. Let me know what you're thinking in the chat box. If you're liking the show, please give a thumbs up, like button. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. It's just what happens with weather in Canada there. What's up, guys? Get this money. Yeah, Shane's picks. Welcome in, man. Ron Lofton, Florida State and Missouri have been money makers for me. Something in college basketball betting in general. If it's working, keep going, guys. So, and that's one with me as far as Kansas State, also Northwestern, two teams I was looking at playing today. In the Northwestern game, obviously just a fade on Nebraska. Really not liking this Nebraska Cornhuskers team. When was the last time they cashed a ticket? It's been forever. And I've been on it a couple times, so I'm just not stopping. I mean, the number might get out of hand, but it's one that I'm looking for. Texas Tech, 7.5. I wouldn't talk you off of it. I just don't really like a side there. Haven't really bet a side in the Big 12 too much outside of Kansas State, that is. We'll move down the card a little bit here. Notre Dame, Virginia. Virginia this year, guys, is a bet on team only. Their offense, for me anyway, really can put the ball in the basket. Obviously, their defense, very, very good. So I used to just look Virginia unders anytime their total was in the 130s, 125 or higher, just to bet them under. This year, that hasn't been the case. They can put the ball in the basket. That guy, his name is Guy. Man, he's a hell of a shooter. So it's Virginia or pass for me. Being at home, 16.5 now. I would look to be on the Who's, fading the Irish there. Let me know any other games you guys are looking at. Florida, Alabama. I kind of like this Florida team. Talking 6-5-1, 6-5-2, 2 p.m. afternoon start. Most of the tickets on Alabama laying 3.5 now. I kind of like Florida to go in there. I mean, Alabama isn't, basketball-wise, isn't that good of a home field advantage. I think Mike White, I'd give him the coaching advantage as well. Total at 134.5. I think Florida, is arguably the more talented team, therefore controlling pace, very good defensive team. I would look to bet Florida there. Haven't pulled the trigger yet. Missouri, Ole Miss. Man, this Ole Miss train, if you've been betting them, congrats. 60% of the tickets on them now, -9 against Missouri. I haven't been involved with Missouri too much. Another 4 o'clock game here. Iowa State, Kansas State. This Kansas State team, I'm on -2, -2.5. If you have a Pinnacle account, I know tough to get. Most of you guys, including myself, are in the States. Therefore, Pinnacle's a tough one, but they're showing 2.5 everywhere else. I guess, leading indicator book as far as Pinnacle taking more money, therefore supposedly a sharper book, smarter money anyway. I don't think so in this one. I like Kansas State. Since D. Wade's been back, 8 straight Big 12 wins and covers. That's a pretty crazy stat there. Outside of the SEC Big 12 Challenge where they lost to Texas A&M, they've won every game with him back. He's a hell of a player. He's very efficient, too. One of the better things I like about betting Kansas State is, some of the good guys, if they're across college basketball, if they're not feeling it that night, they'll still chuck up a lot of shots. I don't like that attribute. I like guys that if they're not feeling it, they're more likely to dish it, kind of the LeBron James style. And Dean Wade's like that. He won't force up shots, but if he's feeling it, he'll put the ball in the basket. So, I like Kansas State. That's a full unit wager for me as well. Got K-State, and for the sake of the show, I don't know. I feel weird giving out 2 on Pinnacle, knowing most people don't have it. I don't have a Pinnacle account, so -2.5. That's what I bet it at. Got to keep remembering to hit the chat box here, guys. Sorry, I haven't. Iowa State, K-State, yeah, tied. That's what I'm on. I like K-State, man. I really do. D. Wade and company, they've been really killing it. Guys, touching 200 viewers right now. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties. If one good thing came out of this, Maxwell Smart, if you're watching, hope to have you on next Saturday joining me and Ian Cameron as long as Babano gets his internet up and rolling. Tomar saying Tennessee has experience. They are solid on the road. Tomar, yeah, they are. No doubt about it. I mean, that's the 8 o'clock game. It was supposed to go in rotation, but hell, we can just talk about that off the cuff right now. I believe it's 8 o'clock Eastern tip. College Game Days there right now. I just like Hagen's on ball defense, and that's where it starts. I've heard Calipari talk about that. That's why this team is so good. They're gunning for a number 1 seed, as is Tennessee. It's a huge game. I think it's a tough one to call. But, gun to head, I'd be on Kentucky. I just think, yeah, they're younger, but they're talented, man. And Hagen's out there. He's a game changer, I think, guard-wise. I'd be on Kentucky. I haven't bet it yet. I know I will before the game, just kind of dragging my feet there on that one tomorrow. Why do you like Tennessee, though? Okay, Kentucky's schedule has been a joke. I get that. I think Tennessee's conference schedule has somewhat been a joke as well. They haven't played the better teams in the SEC so much. Tennessee's defense, yeah, I could see that. Their big guys are pretty talented as well. I just like Kentucky. I haven't bet it yet. I don't know. Any other thoughts you got on Tennessee, Kentucky? Throw them out there. Don, FSU game. Throw out the game numbers if that could help me out as well. Just going through the card, it's tough to pull up all the lines if you don't throw in the game numbers. We got West Virginia, Kansas. I like Kansas to kind of to bounce back really from their up and down season all year. West Virginia is a team that is pretty much a fade for me one way. I would not look to bet this West Virginia team. They are kind of, I guess, showing signs of getting better, but it's just not the West Virginia of old. Not that next year they can't be. This just isn't their year. I haven't touched it. Don't want to lay double digits -14 with Kansas, who's so up and down. But that's the reason I wouldn't be on West Virginia. Moving down the card here, guys. NC State Duke, 6-11, 6-12, 6 p.m. Eastern tip, 159.5. Duke -17. Man, it is tough to step in front of the Blue Devils. I have no interest in it. Zion Williamson and company. Heck, they're going to have a bunch of guys in the NBA lottery here for the draft. But it's just a tough bounce back spot for Duke. That's the reason I haven't bet it yet. That comeback, and how are they going to – they are at home, but after that huge comeback, how do you see a bunch of young guys? Let's face it, they are young guys against NC State. That's a talented team. This is an NC State team that's good. It shows in the total that both teams can really score, because if NC State couldn't score, this total wouldn't be near 160. I'm not stepping in front of Duke, having said nice things about the Wolfpack, so we'll just leave it at that. I haven't bet it yet. Memphis, UCF. I like UCF. -5.5. That's a different story. We got Hardaway's group. A couple trends with Memphis. They drive to the basket as much as pretty much anyone in the country. And with the increased fouls calls in the AAC this year, I believe it's the number 1 conference in terms of number of fouls called, which has really been a boost for their overs. If you've been betting AAC overs to this point, you've been making money just blindly. So seeing this at 148, I would look to bet Memphis UCF over the total. Haven't got there as of yet. Guys, 12 o'clock Eastern, we'll start winding it down. Just LSU game. Again, Allison, game numbers if you can. Mark Turgeon, Maryland is 0-18 on the road versus ranked teams. Going to go watch my Wolverines now later on. Damn, that's a hell of a stat, 0-18. Temple, USF. I'd look Temple, Ethan. USF I don't think is all that great. I just think that they're a little bit overrated, so wouldn't look to bet them. But, yeah, moving down the card here, we got 7, 8 o'clock, any big games. Tennessee, Kentucky. Even split here as far as money goes, 52% to 48%. That's more tickets on Tennessee, but very close. Again, the total getting hit towards the under. Kentucky games rarely get hit towards the over. It's just their defense is really, really good. Tennessee's defense is pretty good as well. -4 for Kentucky now. Damn, I didn't notice it bounce back a full point. 3 and 4 is a lot different. Damn, I haven't touched that yet. That kind of changes things. I might look towards the under a little bit more now. 145, 145.5. Also, guys, let me know who else you want to see on the show. Maxwell Smart, Ian Cameron, any other personalities, throw them out there. We'll try to get them on next week and going forward. We got room to add another guy for this show. It's been a huge success. Appreciate y'all joining me here. as far as the late night action goes, the late time start. Sorry about that. Late night action, I don't have anything on the games. Oregon State. I actually like Oregon a little bit in that game, 1.5 or 2, so you can grab a 2. I'd look towards the Ducks. I feel like I gotta bet a late one though, on Saturday. Arizona State, I'd actually look to go on Arizona State versus Utah. I think Arizona State is the best team in the Pac-12. Catching 1 on the road in Salt Lake City, I'd look to go that route in the late games. Got to give 1 second here. I'll give out best bet here for the show. They've been really good as of late. I'll go back and calculate all of them since the start with the college basketball closing line. But I know that they've been good. Didn't get the thoughts on the last one. Yeah, Temple USF, Middle Tennessee State plus the points. Fade Marshall from Bart. We got Tomar. Thanks for chiming in, man. Always like hearing from you. Raiku, David, Allen. Welcome in, guys, and I guess I'll just leave it with the best bet after 12 o'clock. So got to leave Auburn Vandy off the table for that best bet. I'm going to go Baylor, Texas Tech under the total. I'll pull it up here. It was a 2 o'clock game, so we can get locked in on the number. But I'm going Baylor, Texas Tech under. Just make sure it hasn't moved too much. Hold on 1 second. We got 629, 630. Okay, 126.5. Got a 127 still out there at Bet Online. It opened 127.5, so just a half a point move towards the under. Baylor, Texas Tech under. Love the defense for both teams, actually. Neither team's going to push the pace too much. And I believe this is a watch and win on ESPN, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Baylor, Texas Tech under the total, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Drew Martin. You can follow me on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets. Next week, we'll be here 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll do the full hour next week. I promise, as long as there's not a huge issue with technical difficulties, we'll get that figured out. I appreciate you joining us late, guys. Sorry for getting on here late. Make sure to check out SBR Odds, the new SBR Odds. It's new and improved, really good. We got percentage wagers on there, teams, TV, live, up to date, and it's free. So make sure to check out SBR Odds for all your needs. Best bet, Baylor, Texas Tech under 127 at Bet Online. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Best of luck with your bets today. We'll see you next Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern.